What? Come on, new intro logo. Welcome to the Inner Circle podcast. We are your hosts, Charlie and Melanie. It is another week, episode 193, coming at you live and in charge the day after Madonna, which we are going to get into. We have so much for you guys, but how are you?
I'm well rested. I am so happy that I took today off after yesterday. I'm glad that I didn't come home as late as I anticipated, but yeah, I needed to rest. That
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you went home. You didn't quite rest because you got into the Salt Lake City of it all, part three reunion. And last week we had special guest Tiffany Nicole from Hot Tea with Tiff was on. That was a cool show. It was good to have. She was actually our first guest of 2024. So shout out to Tiffany Nicole. And we had a lot of opinions about Salt Lake City last week. And last week, the season concluded with part three reunion. I mean, there was so much to unpack from the Black Eye situation to the Monica of it all. Let's get into it because I know you have your opinions.
I feel like I should have written notes, but I think I'm just gonna go by like bullet points. So first things first, obviously this is not new news, but like it was already established that Monica's not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Whether she's on pause, like the housewives that get fired but don't like to admit that they get fired, say, or she's definitely not coming back.
But Andy doesn't use that word pause or break for a lot of people, and for her, he
Yeah.
also did. He kind of
He's only used it
definitely
for
said
two
it.
people,
Yeah.
her and Dorinda. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm kind of glad that she's not coming back on because nothing against Monica, but I feel that she needs to heal. Like she needs to do more. I don't know if it's more therapy she needs. I think that she also needs to go to housewives school and learn how to argue because what she gave and that the whole reunion, not even just part three, her way and her style of argument of like argumentative conversation made no sense. It was very like high school, middle school. You suck. No, you suck. No, you're stupid. You're ugly. No, you're ugly. Like that doesn't give housewives for me. And I've always said this. I feel that to be a housewife, you have to carry yourself a certain way, speak a certain way. And even when you articulate things in an argument, you guys have to be able to say your piece and move on. Case in point, a person that I love and like she's a shade assassin, Kenya Moore. She can come back, like she can come with the comebacks. Monica, if you compare her to Kenya and the way that she speaks is not the same. And I think a lot of people are hyped up on wow, she was an icon. She exposed she did the reality Von Teese of it all. But if you really sit back and think, you made yourself look like a super fan. You lied about the reasons as to why you were following Jen Shaw around, blaming it on the FBI when we know that that's not the case. But also, not only did you stand by it and not really express any remorse or like take accountability, you also brought on this burn book. That burn book was bullshit. Shout out to Monique Samuels for having the best Trapper Keeper binder.
Mm-hmm.
With receipts.
Best prop, and many people have tried to
often,
do a prop
what
thing,
is it? Often imitated, never
failed.
duplicated.
Yeah,
I don't understand this little burn book. I felt for one split second, I was like, wait, are they trying to just endorse or advertise the Mean Girls movie at this point? Because that book,
I thought that too when I seen the
burn
trailer.
book didn't bring anything. What you posted a picture of Andy when he was younger, like kind of kissing his ass, like that's not gonna get you kept in the show. Needless to say, I feel that this has nothing to do with her financial her finances or anything, but like she cheapened the show. There's a way to be sophisticated and curse out people and go off and throw shade. She couldn't even do that. And even when Andy was trying to like get her to speak and say her piece, she was like, "No, there's nothing else to say." Like she already had given up. So I
Yeah,
just feel like she needs a break.
I definitely seen the defeat. I like to watch people's faces and also gestures and all that stuff, body language, especially with reunions, especially when they watch old clips or whatever, and they have their little face in a square box. Um, and I could just tell, like towards the end, and even when they're toasting and everything, just a face of defeat, basically like embarrassment. I could definitely read all those things, and I mean, it's weird watching the episode and end like that and seeing the body language and everything and seeing how it ended and I guess how each of them spoke their piece, whatever. Um, and knowing what we know, obviously it got announced a few hours before the episode aired yesterday that she was let go or put on pause for the season. But I also could see a takedown when I see one, and I get it. I get like they were uncomfortable and the whole like it was different, but like there was parts of the reunion that I found a little like really like laughable. Like, oh, when Heather gave her speech about how she felt and like the caliber and how on any housewives they've this and that, and I'm like, oh come on, like
So
I
yeah,
had
I
Jen
have a
Shaw,
problem.
and then
I have a problem with Heather and
I'm
that
glad we're
statement. If you
switching
think
gears
about it,
to Heather, yeah.
if you notice something about Heather, she like if she did not personify a fucking Mormon last night, she I don't know when she has. Heather feels like she's scared or she is intimidated by not even intimidated, she's scared. She's used the word scared.
Yeah.
She's scared of Mary Cosby, she's scared of Jen Shaw, and now she's scared of Monica. What do all those three women have in common? They're all women. We all
POC.
running. Yeah, they're all women of
POC
color.
people.
I don't listen. I don't agree with the shit that Monica did. However, to say that you're scared of someone because of them blasting you and calling you the T word or calling you Shrek and all this bullshit, it look the bullying. I've watched the Housewives since the fucking beginning of ages. I've watched all the franchises. Never once have I felt the need to reach out and bully any of the housewives or leave a comment. I don't hate them. I'm invested, but not so invested to the point where I feel the need to be like, Candace, I hate you. You're a bitch. Team Monique. Like I would not. I've never done that. However, there are people that feel the need to do that, to like decompress that way, and they go to social media. I agree with the conversation that she said about how social media is one of the worst things that they have to endure as a housewife. However, to constantly say that you're scared of these people, Jen Shaw is like 120 with weave on, with bundles in her head. And you're scared of her, even though you're like twice her size. And I'm not making a fat joke or nothing, but like, no, you need to stop hiding behind this being scared. The whole black eye conversation.
I thought
How
that
do
was
you feel about
bullshit
that?
too. Like I thought that was bullshit too because it's like she lied too. She lied on production. She made several
She did.
comments. But this is why I feel it's like it was a gang up. It was a gang up, and it was like let's get rid of her. And they're all like, yeah, I can move on with this. I've seen worse things in other Housewives franchises. In worse situations where there could be ways to move on. But
I
um
think I will say with Monica and the whole argument, there are different levels. I've always considered Brandy to be the lowest in arguments and having like beef and stuff, and the way she retaliates and claps back. Like I always felt like she needed to like curtail herself. Monica is like 10,000 steps below Brandy. It's sad when you make Brandy look better. And as far as the production and Heather lying, I can't wait for the day that the producers have a strike or the producers put in their 2 cents and say something like, "We don't want to film with this housewife because she lied on us." Could you imagine?
well, that's why some of them get fired. But yes, and listen, I'm gonna admit because I'm someone who owns my shit. I was one of those people back in the days that I was invested with a housewife, and I was one of those people that would tweet to like a Candace or whatever. But personal growth is a beautiful thing. Um, but moving on, we had to start that off because it was fresh off the heel. The firing and just the ending of Salt Lake City, and I thought she was coming back, but we'll see.
No.
We'll put a
Bye,
pause.
girl.
Or my thoughts to end it real quick because it's funny how I heard the radio Andy's interview. To me, the way I took it, I was like, oh, okay. So by the middle of filming, if those girls are not giving what they're supposed to be giving, we're gonna throw in Monica, where Mary's gonna bring her in at the end of like this last episode, and then there's like a opening door for season. What is it? 7 after 6. So we'll see. But he did say pause, and he doesn't use that word very much. But yes, we did so much this weekend. Let's get into first challenge mania. Obviously, I'm wearing my challenge accepted shirt. Finally, I got one. We went on Sunday, and it was the first challenge mania. Challenge mania has been going on for a few years now, which is hosted by Derek Brzezinski, which he was on Road Rules, and then went on to do a bunch of challenges, and Scott Yeager. And we went, it was at City Winery in here in New York. And how was I know I'm more of the challenge guy here, but how was your experience? I know you are an MTV girl and you are aware of these individuals and stuff, and you've watched the Real World back in the day. So how was your experience?
I had a great time. I was very surprised at the turnout. I didn't think, I mean, the challenge has been on for many seasons. I will say, unfortunately, I stopped watching after they did the mix up with adding new new people, new personalities from other shows. I've always been a Real World Road Rules lover, and OGs is my shit. That's why I would watch was it the Challenge All Stars that
the new one that's on Paramount?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've watched that. However, I stopped watching, I want to say, if there's 40 seasons, I probably stopped watching season 25, 26. I don't know. But I think that the turnout was great. The people that were there, I was so happy to see Anissa. That was the one person that I really wanted to see. When we saw special guest and surprise guest Ibis Del Mar, which I was shocked. I had to Google her because I was like, I don't really. She looks familiar, but I don't recognize her. And then I went back and saw, and I remember her. I was like, oh my god, yes, I grew up watching that season. And also Kenny Santucci, he is so fine. He's still fine.
Yeah, he still is good.
No, it was great. It was a great show. It was a great turnout. I just wish that there were more OGs. It was fun to see Mark Long in person, the Godfather. Yeah, that was my only takeaway, that I feel like I wish that there were more OGs, because it was kind of, I know that they have to cater to people that are watching the current show and stuff, but I don't know, maybe if they did just, I don't know, OGs by itself, I would be more keen to watch, I guess. I don't know, but I know you had a great time.
No, it was a great time. Listen, some of my Anissa was great. We got to take a picture with her as well. And as soon when I was like, hey Anissa, and she see I'm my friend or whatever. And then of course, the way you say you pimp me out, or you're gonna pimp me out. Listen, I see the opportunities to pimp you out. I'm gonna pimp you out. She was like, because we know Anissa is part of the LGBTQ plus community. So she was like, oh, tú eres dominicana to her over here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the segue. So that was an easy, that was cool for them to take pictures, because unfortunately we was not part of the after show, the meet and greet. But it was still cool to have pictures with her, and then even EBs who wanted to do more pictures, because the first one didn't come out right and stuff. She was so nice, very maternal, huggy and touchy and stuff. So she was so cool, and hopefully, fingers crossed, there's one of those people, or some of those people, will grace us as guests on this podcast. So fingers crossed with that. We shall wait and see. But it was cool to see them. Landon, who Yes,
I forgot about Landon.
Real World Philadelphia was his original season.
That was one of my favorite seasons.
He lit when I told you I had a huge crush on that dude, like on my
Did you?
computer back when I had a desktop thing, like I had his like pictures. He did modeling, so I had like his pictures downloaded and everything. And like, of course, I will hide the files and stuff. But back then I will hide the files because I was in the closet back in high school. Um, but yeah, it was amazing to see him. Mark Long, like you said, the first Road Rules. It was amazing. It was cool. It was cool. And then some of the newer people, it was okay to see them and stuff. But you can tell even from the audience reception, like how the reception towards the OGs is more than the newer people.
I think at one point, I want to say Anissa was like feeling nice, I guess. Well, whatever she was drinking was a red wine or whatever it was. But I
Yes, she
think
was drinking red
at
wine, then
one
she switched
point,
to other stuff.
she was expressing something about wanting to be, if she could be in any other like reality show, she would be on Survivor or something like that. And I think, was it Raven that she basically said, I doubt that or whatever, and Anissa like clapped back. I was like, ooh, that's ooh,
Yeah.
drama. But again, I don't watch the show currently, so I can't really attest to them and like who they are. But I was just happy to see OGs. I would like to see more. I would like to go more to the events of OGs. And like if they had an event where it was like the real world cast, like Real World Homecoming, is that ever coming back?
No, no, there was some
Right.
discussions with doing like maybe Real World Homecoming. There was a few seasons that was like discussed. Austin was discussed of trying to do a homecoming. There was Cancun as well, but it just didn't happen. I guess Paramount right now is not interested, and they even removed even John Brennan, who was here not too long a few months ago, yeah. He said that they removed it. They removed all the Real World Homecoming. So I know some fans online are upset about that and stuff, but we do have All Stars 4, which we hear that was some little tea that they gave us. All Stars 4 is dropping in March, and fingers crossed is good. Editors could do a lot of things, but from what Anissa said, it's gonna be spicy. So hopefully they keep it all good. Because the reason why, to give you more context, Melanie, lately the last few seasons of the challenge on MTV, it's less draw. They try to cut more of the drama and the fights, and like they're back in your day, you know how they used to like be in their face and even get physical. I guess MTV's trying to shy away from that. So a lot of fans feel like a lot of drama has been cut and edited the last few seasons. But on All Stars, which is on Paramount, they have hope that those things won't be watered down and cheapened like they feel the last few seasons of the challenge on MTV has. So fingers crossed for that, because Paramount, I'm paying my well due diligence monthly, and I'm thinking about cutting you guys off for a little bit. So yeah, but speaking of Paramount, last night I went to bed after I got in pretty late from the next person we're going to talk about, watching Mob Wives. Mob Wives is on Paramount now. I'm so
Is
excited.
it?
Yeah,
I've
I'm
been
so
I've been
excited.
watching clips on TikTok
No,
of
it's
Mob
on
Wives.
Paramount
So
Plus.
all
Yep.
right, cool.
So
I'll
there
watch it
you
then.
go. But now, speaking of, I came last night after getting home from watching this next lady, that we both went to see, Madonna. And this is something, and this was actually a birthday gift that you got me from last year. And
I know.
initially, I thought to myself, Madonna's a gift I wouldn't have asked for. And I'll explain why. Because back in the day, and I said this before, I went to see her back in 2007, 8 for the
Mhm.
Confessions on a Dance Floor tour. And I'm not a seat snob at all. I've seen many, many concerts, and I don't care where I say it, it's about the experience for me. But I did get to see her, like literally seventh row, perfect. So I had reconciled way back then when I seen her that, okay, this is my only time seeing Madonna, and I'm fine with that. I could die happy. So I never in my mind thought I would see Madonna again. But then it came, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm open to it. Then she canceled, and here we went yesterday. And I have to say, it was a great show. That bitch, how old she's in her 60s, she still got it production wise. Like I feel like Beyonce set the bar for like production concerts. The Beyonces and the Pinks of the world, but like with a big stage and a lot of moving parts and stuff. And Madonna brought that as well with this tour and this concert. Like there was so much. I was like in awe, and I liked all the moving parts. And but I know you have a lot to say as well. So, what were your highlights? What did you feel? I know you have a lot.
So all in all, it was a great show for me. I think that Madonna has always been on the bucket list for me to see. I've
Yeah,
always wanted to go see the Confessions tour, but I don't remember how old I was, but I'm pretty sure I don't even think
I
I
was
was
8.
here. You were
If I
how
seen
old?
her, I was early 20s when I went to see her. It was like I had
I
to be
will
2021.
Yeah, so I must have been like still in high school or graduating, but I wasn't here. I was in Florida. But I Confessions of a Dance Floor is one of my favorite albums, but I love Madonna and I've always loved all her discography. And I hold Madonna close to my heart because I remember the first English album that I was ever gifted by my aunt when she first came to New York was the Immaculate Collection.
Mm.
And I used to play that shit over and over and over and over. So that was like that's big in my family. But as far as the concert goes, we got I got the tickets like literally the week that she announced that she was going on tour.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be in
It
August.
was
She rescheduled.
a,
It was in February, I think.
yeah, you got the
Yeah.
tickets in February.
I think it was a gift for you, but also a gift for myself for my birthday, since we are 10 days apart. But I felt also that like if I didn't go see her now, I was not gonna
You
this
did
was
say
gonna be
that,
the
yeah.
last opportunity because she is reaching a certain age. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited that we went. However, I've noticed a pattern when it comes to, and this has nothing to do with her show. I notice a pattern that when I go see concerts in Madison Square Garden, I don't have the best audio experience. The three
Mm.
concerts that I think we've seen in Madison Square Garden together was Osuna,
Osuna.
Justin Timberlake, and Madonna. And I can tell you, it's not the performers. I think it's the audio. For me, it's not that great. Like if you
Mm.
compare the audio to um I don't know, Bad Bunny in Yankee Stadium or Bruno Mars in Barclays. It's completely
Mm.
different. It's like sub. Did you feel like that, or am I like
Um, you can hear me, right? You can.
yeah?
Now that you're talking about it, yes, at some parts I did, especially when initially that girl came up, the younger self herself, and she did her first spoken thing in that part of this stage. Um, yeah, I did feel that way. I know what you mean now because like you're making me think. Even with Bruno Mars, when we went to Barclays, the sound that he had was a little different, made it a little different. That's a good
And
point. Yeah,
I don't even think it's the seats. It's not the seats.
that definitely was a good point. No, audio wise, audio shouldn't. No matter where you see it, I don't think seating has to do impact the audio. So definitely not that. But you do make a good point with that. She went on.
As far as
I do have to
music,
commend her. She went on time. Let's put that out there because I know
mhm,
we've been talking about it, posting about it. She's been in the news about it. She did go on. I mean, we're saying on
at
time, but maybe
9:30.
for other people. But she
No,
went
no,
on time at nine
before
thirty.
9:30, which a lot of people said the night before Monday night she went on at 9:45.
9:45, yeah. So that's not bad, but she puts on a 2 hour and a half show. Like for her being the hate she is, golf claps to her. Like she puts on a 2.5 hour show. It finished like basically at midnight.
No, it didn't finish at midnight, and that's my next point. It finished at 11:48 and 29 seconds, and I
No, it
was
was
very
50
upset.
something. It was definitely 11:50.
No, it was 11:52. It was 11:52. I
Yes.
remember looking at my watch and I was like, "That's it." And the girl next to me, the lady next to me, was like, "No, just wait for the lights. She's probably doing another song."
And then the lights
No,
went on.
the lights went on and it was time to go. One of my favorite songs of Madonna is the song "Music" from the what is
Music album.
the
It's
music
called music.
album.
Yeah.
I am shocked, appalled, surprised that she would not perform that because that was a good hit of hers. And I felt like she kind of talked too much and like
Mm.
preached a little too long during this concert. I know like the AIDS epidemic and like
There were
gay
some
rights and
highlights that was
everything.
very good. Yeah, like that one.
That is important to her. That's always been, she's always been true to that. That's like you're expecting to hear that when it comes to Madonna. However, she could have chopped it up a little bit and not gone into a whole spiel about the nurses and like the first responders. Like that was
That
nice
made
and
me
I
emotional
appreciate that.
though. That made me emotional with the nurses too. I like shed a little tear.
You know what made me emotional actually that I was like kind of like teared up about? The part where she sang, she dedicated the song to her
To a
mom.
mom, yeah, that was good too. It was a good show. It was a good show, but I do agree she had a lot of little speeches. And to add to what you're saying about her speeches, while I was walking, heading to the train, I hear, I overhear some gays talk about the show and stuff, and they're like, "Oh my god, do you think it's so? Don't you think it's so weird? Like she was talking about that so much." And I just laughed to myself. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like people's
Well,
interpretation, I guess, of
she did have a near death experience this summer.
she sure did, and that's why we seen her when we seen her. We were supposed to see her in August 26th, 25th. But as
Yeah.
we reported before on the show back then, she had a basically near death experience. And when you have those things, that changes you too. So maybe that's why she
I
gave those long
I will
speeches.
say I did appreciate, and I guess Beyonce was a trendsetter with this shit, but like her
Mm-hmm.
incorporating her kids
Mm-hmm.
and being part of like the show, I think it's very great. I think she needs to cut down Bob's like little
Little
part.
parts.
God, what is he? The fucking opening act? Like I love Bob the drag queen. Don't
She
get
in,
me
she
wrong.
in, she in, integrated him in the show. Yeah,
Well, he has cut at least 10 minutes of his little skits
and
so
add
that way
music.
and add more music. There's so many songs deeper and deeper I wanted to hear. She could have done obviously music. There's a lot of good songs that she could have done.
But that's the
I
thing.
would have
She
been okay with
has
the Spy Who Shagged Me song.
she had beautiful strangers. She has such she is one of those people that has such a big
Catalog.
catalog that it is hard. It is hard. And unfortunately artists like her, you're never gonna truly please their fans because they have such a catalog, like the Janet Jacksons of the world, the shares and stuff. Like you're never gonna, or the Kylie Minogues. Like you're never, as a
No, I
fan,
think there's a way. There's also a way to do it. Even her interludes, if you notice, her interludes weren't even her music.
it
The
was a
whole
remix,
interlude,
like loud
the
music.
it was the interlude with Billie Jean and Michael Jackson and like what was it?
It was
Like
like
a
a Virgin
Virgin?
Smooth Criminal mashup.
Not Smooth Criminal, Billie Jean.
Yeah, Billie Jean. Yesterday you
It
said
was
Smooth Criminal and I said Billie Jean. No,
sorry,
yeah,
but if she, I mean, that's cute, whatever. But why didn't you do a mashup of all your songs? Like the fucking tour is called the Celebration Tour, a tour of decades or hits or whatever. So why not play all the hits? I don't know. Maybe
I get
maybe
what
I'm
you
hard
mean
on
because
her.
she didn't because there were a little surprise fillers like the Beast Within or even Mother and Father, which she performed. That's when she dedicated to her mom. That was never a single. That was on the American Life album,
Bad
which
Girl
that
wasn't a
album,
big song either.
yeah, Bad Girl was a single, but that wasn't a huge hit of hers either. I was happy because that's one of my favorite Madonna. I have a few favorite Madonna songs, and that's one of my favorites. But yeah, you're right. Even like there was one that you like, Rain, and I'm like, oh, I wish you performed Frozen instead of Rain. So it's it's
Exactly.
hard. It's hard, but I was happy with some of the selection. There was a few songs that I don't know if you remember. I'm like, oh my god, I love this. Nothing really matters. I'm happy she did that. Bedtime
Me
stories
too.
was cool. There was it was a good show. It was a good show. I
I
enjoyed it.
I'm I'm happy I went. I'm glad that she performed. I would I go again? Absolutely, because she's the type of artist that you're not gonna see perform again.
Mm.
Um, much less come out with new music. If she does, that's great. But yeah, I noticed too. Also, like the crowd,
I was just gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring it up. My other
the
call, a small call out,
the crowd is a lot more subdued than like crowds that we have gone to
like the
in
Bad Bunny or
recent.
Beyonce.
Well, you got to look at the target demographic. The demographic
Hmm.
that Madonna brought out was more these like 90s gays who like were obsessed with her, would follow her, all this shit. I didn't see a lot of young people. Um, but yeah, the crowd was a lot more subdued than
Yeah,
what I've seen. Actually, I don't even hate that. I actually sort of kind of preferred it because I'm turning 35 next month. I don't like being around like young kids screaming, acting stupid, the smell of weed in concerts. Like that's too fucking much. But
yeah.
we did have we did see spot like we did spot some people.
Yeah,
We
we
didn't think
ran
we were gonna
into
spot.
literally the same floor, walking. We had a concession stand. We turned around. We were going our way, and they're crossing over. We ran into the Housewives of New Jersey, half the cast basically. We first seen Jackie. I thought it was only Jackie, but then like we keep bobbing our heads, and Jennifer Aiden, dressed as Madonna. Um,
She was?
she was wearing the polka dot from like when the Blonde Ambition tour.
Oh,
Yeah, she
okay.
was wearing that. Yeah, if you go to her Instagram, she does it right, and I'm like, oh, okay. And we also see Jen Fessler and Teresa, and of course, Teresa always so nice. We say hi, and I'm like, oh, I was on your podcast, and she was again very sweet. And she takes the time. That's what I like about Teresa. She takes the time. She could be rude and just keep walking, but we're cool. We've already met Teresa a few times, so we just let her. We said hi real quick. We made a little chat, and we kept going our way. They kept going their way, but it was cool. It was cool bumping into them and saying hello and stuff. And Jen Fessler was nice too, and kept turning around saying hi and smiling. So shout out to our Jersey girls right over the bridge or tunnel, whichever way you take. But it was cool seeing them. It was fun bumping into them and saying
Yeah.
hi and Teresa remembering us. So that's pretty cool.
Mhm. That
Yeah,
was
but yeah, it was. We definitely have had an eventful last few days, which we enjoy. You see, this is a thing. This is why I feel like I know seasonal depression is real, but I feel like during this time I thrive, and there's like a lot of events and people's birthdays and this and that. So it's like I'm too busy and going to like I guess fall into that pit of like I don't get seasonal depression during this time.
I do. I think it comes and goes. Like there's times where I think for me it starts hard body like after Halloween, like around Thanksgiving. I can compartmentalize because like everyone's just focused on food and getting together, and
Mm.
then Christmas is like kind of the worst. I think Christmas is such a like it's supposed to be super happy, but a lot of people get depression around
No,
Christmas.
yeah, this is yeah, of course, it makes a lot of
But
sense too.
and then with dry January, I think it's so funny that you're doing dry January and this is your second year. I think I commend you. I think it's great. I just find it hilarious when I see you drinking soda because I'm the one that drinks the soda and you're the one that's drinking the alcohol. So now it's like the roles are reversed kind of, but yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yesterday at
know.
that concert, just
Yeah,
me and my
that was
Pepsi, me and my Pepsi. But I have two more after next week. I
you have
have
a week.
one more week left, one more week. Not next week's show, but basically the first Wednesday in February, February 7th, I believe. Y'all will see me with a cocky in my
Yeah.
hand.
Is that what you're
But
looking forward to in February?
to have a nice stiff cock. Cocky, cocktail, cocky. But anyways, right now we're about to get into a little game. I'm gonna put your collaboration skills to the test. Yesterday, as we mentioned, we seen a little Madonna and Michael Jackson mashup, which was pretty cool to see. And we see Madonna also perform "Justify My Love," which, if y'all don't know, was a song written by Lenny Kravitz. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
put Melanie's skills to the test with a little game of Have They Collaborated? I'm going to show you artists, and basically, it's pretty simple. You're going to let us know if they've collaborated or not. Are you ready?
Yep.
First one, speaking of the queen of pop herself, Madonna. I kind of gave this away already, but Madonna and Lenny Kravitz.
I know that they collaborated in Justify My Love because Lenny made a joke about her being like very adamant about being part of composition of the song. I
Mhm.
think she only contributed like one word, one or two words. Meanwhile, like Lenny and someone else wrote the song, so that's how they collaborated. Leo's, you know.
You want the credit for everything. Um, have they collaborated, Janet Jackson and Missy Elliott?
Yeah, I forget the name of the song, but I can sing the
Son of a
chorus.
gun. Ha
Yeah,
ha hoo hoo. All right, next. Have they collaborated, Christina Aguilera and Blake Shelton?
my two least favorite people. They collaborated in the X Factor. I don't think they actually collaborated in a song.
Actually, they have. It's called Just a Fool and is on Christina Aguilera's Lotus album.
Never
Have
heard
they
it.
collaborated, Usher and Justin Timberlake?
Mm, I don't think so.
You are right. They have not collaborated, but I think
Oh,
maybe they both have albums dropping this year, so I think
Justin's
who
having a
knows?
show at the somewhere here in New York, Irving something.
Urban Plaza.
Yeah, Irving
Have they
Plaza.
collaborated, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber? We know they dated, but besides collaborating in the bedroom, have they
Yeah.
collaborated musically?
No.
You are right. They have not. And last but not least, have they collaborated, Mariah Carey and Michael Jackson?
I don't think so.
You are
No.
right. They have not. They have not.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. You didn't do too shabby there. You didn't do too shabby. But speaking of music and collaborations, we know that Mariah Carey has collaborated with someone who they compare her to very much, Ariana Grande, who has a hit song with her. Yes, and it's
And
called Yes and. Um, it's been out for 2 weeks now. I want to
mhm.
get your opinion on it because there has been a little bit of controversy with this song with many fans, and I even seen a TikTok made by an Ariana Grande fan actually, who basically talked about the song saying we are fans who grew up with you because you can. Ariana's been in the game what about 10 years now, going on 10 years or so since she started on Nickelodeon. Many of her fans were younger, and this girl who did this TikTok basically said, when you came out with break up with your girlfriend because I'm bored. Yes, it was cute because we were a little younger, but now we are women of a certain age in our 30s, and they feel that this song basically Ariana's not feeling bad because, as we know, she allegedly broke a marriage with her co-star from Wicked. So a lot of people feel she's very insensitive with the song and it's just not cute. What are your thoughts? Do you like the song? What are your thoughts? What's your take on the little controversy going on with Ariana and the song?
I like the song. I don't think that people personally I don't care about her personal life with SpongeBob, that guy who was SpongeBob in Broadway.
No, he's not even that cute.
He's not, but the guy that she was married to, wasn't he like 25 and she was older than him?
Yeah,
Um so
and he
I
was
don't know
toxic and troublesome. You see, the cute ones
whether
are
yeah, Dalton Gomez was his
Dalton
name. But
Gomez.
like
Yeah.
my thing with that situation is that like you could speculate all you want, but you don't really know what's happening behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
Who maybe he was having like issues, maybe he was been separated from his wife, or like
Mm-hmm.
they were having their own things and like he dated this girl or dated Ariana after, or I don't know. I don't
I
really
thought the same thing as you.
I feel like I'm not I think if I was younger, I would probably be like, "Oh my god, that's so classless," blah blah blah. But now that you know, after a certain age and situations that happen to you, you get to like kind of give people the benefit of a doubt.
Mm.
Um, as far as the song goes, I like it. I think it's cute. Whether she's saying yes and like let her say it. I think her fans are so young and they want to pigeonhole her into this like little teeny bopper music. She's grown. She's in her 30s. And also, why isn't anyone like even considering or talking about the fact that the beat of the song is very similar to Vogue? from
Yeah,
Madonna.
I was gonna say I wasn't going to me like this song. I'm like it's very '90s dancey.
Yeah,
I really
that's why
like
I
the
like
vibe.
it.
Yeah, me too. I loved it. I thought of you. I sent it to you when it initially came out, right? And I
Hmm.
just this is why I wanted to talk about because the controversy followed, as time went on. And you really never told me what you thought of it, but like I thought of you initially because I'm like, it's giving this like 9D, like this certain style that I feel like you will appreciate. And it's
Yeah,
really giving really that. And even the lyrics, I like the lyrics. There could be, some may call it cheeky, especially the spoken part. My face is sitting, I don't need, what is it? What is it exactly says? My face is sitting, I don't need to hide. And then, why do you care whose dick I ride? I'm like, oh, I like these certain lines. I'm like, it's a little bit of me in there. I'm like, I like this. So I like it. I like it. Shout
I
out
don't
to
think. I think as a grown ass woman that she is now, I don't think she needs to be like explaining her love life to anyone. Why is
yeah.
it that why isn't the guy held to like the fire like she is? Because she's a performer.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I knew the reason why I kind of like I kind of put two and two together with the Vogue and Yes and was because I was listening to Sirius XM and John Mayer was talking about it. He was like, "This is a great song. It gives like the '90s beat or late
Mm-hmm.
'80s '90s beat."
Mm-hmm.
Similar to Vogue, and he expressed why. I think it's something in like the instruments or whatever, in the production. But as far as how the song goes, I think it's cute. The video, how she does an homage to Paula Abdul.
Yes. Listen, we're right. I was. Well, sometimes the connection, and I'm sitting here thinking, and then you say certain things. Go on. Yup. Yup.
So if you know about
Cold hearted
Ariana
snake.
Grande, yes, she has in the last couple of songs or like her last album when she did Thank You Next, she did like a homage to 13 going on 30, was it? Or no, sorry, Mean Girls and then 13
Mm.
going on 30, like different teeny
Yeah.
bopper movies. So I think her paying an homage to Paula Abdul was I think it's so cute. I think it goes with the
Yeah.
time and the song is tongue in cheek. I think it's not a big fu. I don't care what's going on. It's more so I see what you guys are saying, but this is how I feel about it. I don't think there's
Mm-hmm.
anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, we'll see with the album because she releases. I always like the first single, but then I get the album, and then she hasn't
I
had an
like her
album where I
albums.
liked it from beginning to end. She still hasn't
Really?
produced an album like that for me.
I really
Yeah, not yet.
liked I really liked Thank You Next. The album was really good. And then the other album that she had with God is a Woman, I forgot the name of the album, but like the album was cute.
Sweetener. I think it was called Sweetener.
Sweetener, yeah.
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 So, what do you think? I want to get your take. Switching gears from Ariana Grande to the controversy with the Oscars and the movie that was such a big hit and the talk of everywhere last year, Barbie. So,
Hmm.
Ryan, the Oscar nominations came out, and I don't know them all by detail, but let's just say that people are buzzing because Ryan Gosling got nominated for an Oscar, but Greta, I don't know her last name, Greta Wilson. Am I saying it right? Greta, the director Greta, I know her name is Greta, and Margaret Robbie, who
I'll tell you right now.
produced it and played Barbie, were not nominated for an Oscar. So here we are, a movie about women empowerment, and none of the
Mhm.
women, like the actress or the director, get nominated, but the male actor does. Have you heard the news? And what are your thoughts about this controversy, conundrum?
Just I feel like women can never have it all because just like the Emmys just passed and a lot of women won the categories. And
Mm-hmm.
that was like a big achievement. And now the Oscars come and they're like, all right, women, you guys had your chance. You guys had your fun. Now it's time for the big boys to get their
Yeah.
shine. And it's like that shit's crazy to me. As far as Bobby Barbie winning an Oscar or being in the category, it should have been. It had a lot of like, it was a box office hit. It still is. Technically, it's on Max now
Wasn't it the
where you
biggest
can
movie last year?
it was the biggest movie alongside Oppenheimer, but clearly Oppenheimer is nominated a lot. I have the list, and it looks like I can't. It's hard because I really like Barbie, but I haven't seen Oppenheimer. But
It's gonna be on
Killian,
Peacock.
what Oppenheimer?
Yeah, it's coming out on Peacock.
Oh well, I'll watch it because I've been wanting to watch it. Killian Murphy, the one that stars in Oppenheimer,
Hmm.
I love him from Peaky Blinders and like from other movies he was in, like Inception and
Red Eye. I like him in that movie Red Eye with Rachel McAdams.
yeah, he's a great actor. I love him, but yeah, I don't know. Like even actor in supporting role, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Mark Ruffalo, Sterling K. Brown. Those are like heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Um, as far as like the Barbie movie not being nominated, like what nomination would they be in besides like cinematography, directing? I guess Greta Gerwig. I think is
Director,
her
yeah,
last
Greta
name.
Gerwig, yeah. Or, Best Actress, they could have done nominated Robbie. I guess is the point that none of the women got nominated for what could have been individual categories like Ryan Gosling did. So,
That's crazy. I
yeah.
mean,
Well,
yeah,
listen,
I
I don't
saw
really
that
even
he's
watch the
upset.
Oscars like that. So, yeah, he came out in support of Margaret Robbie and Greta as
But
well.
wait, I need to make a correction because the nominees for Best Picture, Barbie is on there. Barbie,
I
David Heyman, Margot Robbie, Tom Ackerley, and Robbie Brenner were the producers.
Yeah.
So technically, they have a nomination.
Yeah, but the media and stuff, they want to pick something and make what is it? A
Another
mole? What is it? A hill? A
a mountain
mole?
out of a
A mountain
molehill.
out of a molehill. Yeah.
They
So
also and then for best writing adapted screenplay, Barbie's also nominated, and it says written by Greta Gerwig. So I mean, it's just funny to me how media likes to like start
mm,
shit
hmm
because y'all were on this like hate train for Barbie, saying how this female movie is like such a man hating movie,
hmm
but now you guys are like, hey, how come Barbie hasn't been nominated? Like starting shit. It- it's stupid.
the world.
The
So we're
world.
never happy. But moving on, we have our new segment that we started here. We're having so much fun with it. Even you guys are definitely getting in on the fun on our inner circle page on Instagram. Is our new segment called Circle Poll. Listen, there's a lot of polls going on this year with election, et cetera, et cetera. But we're gonna keep it light and fun here, and sometimes talk about some thought-provoking things that we sometimes as humans think ourselves, and put it to the test with what the rest of the world thinks as well. So let's get into this week's Circle Poll. All right. So last week we put up on our Instagram page, which if you're not following our Instagram page, make sure to follow us. We put up the question. It was a two-parter actually. It was the first one was who cheats more? Who cheats more, men or women? Um, Melanie, what do you think ended up being the end result? Men or women?
Men.
Yes, men with 60% and women with 40%. But it surprised me. I love looking at the list. It surprised me because the voters, and I'm not gonna get into details with people like who voting, but I was surprised to see some women themselves vote that
For
women
women.
cheat more, voted for women. So I was surprised to see that, and it was interesting to me. And I mean, this is why we're doing this, thought provoking, as a conversation of I mean, men won, but is there a possibility do women cheat more? And why do some women themselves maybe feel women cheat more? What do you think, since you're a woman?
As a cis woman, I was born a woman. I identify as a woman and always will be a woman.
He, she,
Um,
hers.
not he, she, bitch.
No, not he, she.
She,
No, she, her. Yeah, she, her. And what
she,
else?
her.
That's
I
it,
guess
she,
that's
her.
it.
Yeah.
She, her. Fucking pronouns. I think from a woman's standpoint in relationships or like men that I know, like I have a lot of male friends, and then from previous relationships, men do cheat. I can obviously that's a fact, but on the same flip side, being a woman, being friends with women, and being around women, I've been privy to women cheating or like telling me I had a she is not a friend, she was an acquaintance, but like there have been conversations with women where they say like, well, I'm gonna cheat before he cheats on me, or I'm gonna do this before I'm gonna get mine before he does something like, which I find that shit to be so toxic, but also like it's a mindset that it's more prone for men to have, to like cheat without emotion and just cheat
Mm,
for physical, whereas
hmm.
women cheat for with
Emotional.
emotion.
I was gonna bring that up too, and I thought that too when I seen some of these votes, because yes, I've always heard that too from different conversations I've had, that women cheat more emotionally, while with men it's less emotional. They're basically thinking with the emotions of their penis.
Mhm.
Um, I just, for me though, I
On rare occasion though, men have cheated emotionally as well.
yeah, I mean it could happen. Yeah, it's not far fetched for it to be happen, or the same thing for a woman just to get her rocks off. Um, I just feel women hold themselves to. Listen, we're all different. We're all different. So it's not saying all, but I feel like women do hold themselves at a higher standard standard than men. I feel us men are a little more dogs and a little more, I hate to use this word piggy in a sense, where it's like you would stick your penis anywhere, boom, boom, boom. It's just get it off, come, and that's it, and keep it moving. Where I think women value themselves a little more. Most women, because we all have, that's my opinion on it. Of why I think a man cheats more. I think women are a little more reserved and don't want just everyone running through their hoo ha. But again, there's
There
some.
are women that are not like that though. There are some women that think like men. I'm in a I'm I can't talk about it, but like I am privy to some women that just casually just want sex. Now, when it comes to the difference between casual sex with men and women, is that for men who want casual sex, they will have sex with multiple partners.
They could
Whereas,
be at a bar and be like,
for
okay,
example,
yeah.
if I want casual sex with someone, I want like exclusivity where we're just hooking up, but we're not in a relationship. And I think most women think that way.
Or, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I would think most women have like, if you're single, like
A
a fuck
fuck
buddy or
buddy,
two.
yeah,
Yeah. So I feel like I think with
not
women is
two.
more that. Well, if you're single, I'm being nice and saying two, but if you're single, why not have two, three, four, five? You have to have choices. They're not always available, so you have to have choices.
New year,
If
new roster.
you have to have choices. So if you're single, why not have your choices? But I think for the most part, women, you have your, you like you said, your roster, your few that you call out. I think women are more like that. Where I think with men, they would just, again, not all, but like just you could be at a bar and you're having a good time, and you're drinking with your boys and you see a hot girl, you wham bam fuck her real
It's
quick
not
in the
even like
alley
that
and go
anymore.
back to your wife
It's
at
not even,
home.
well, no, it's not even like that anymore. Now it's more so like you match on a dating app, you guys talk for a little bit, and then you guys just hook up.
Yeah. Now there was a two-parter question to this: who cheats more, men or women? And we got 60% with men. But then the next question was who's more forgiving after cheating? And this one, women took the larger margin with 71%, and men
Mhm.
were 29%. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that result? Those results:
I
79%
think
women, 71% women are more forgiving.
I think because women are more emotional and they're more sympathetic and they try to make things work and they do it more with emotion attached. They try
Mm.
to see the good in people and try to forgive. Sometimes, I mean, I've never been in a situation where if I got cheated on, I forgave them and got back with them. I have to cut ties. Like I could forgive someone, but I won't forget it, and I won't try to deal. Like I can't involve myself in that. However, with men, and I hate to say this, but I think a lot of men are don't want to see women in the same mindset as men where they cheat and they can get away with it and be unapologetic. Like women,
Mm,
they don't want women to do the same thing because a lot of men have a Madonna horror complex. They will be in a relationship with this girl and hold her to a certain standard where they don't want her to cheat, they don't want her to do like nasty things, but then they want to receive that from the side chick or
mm,
someone that they cheat with. But God forbid
mm,
that
mm.
the girlfriend actually cheats on him. Oh my God, I'm devastated. How could you? I can't believe you would do this to me.
She's
But
for
you
the
do it all the
streets. She's
time.
for the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've
So
talked about this before. I never liked that mentality either. Like guys could cheat, oh, because that's the way we are, and that's machismo, and that's again society. That's wiring. That's being wired, basically. Let's be real. We all wired in ways, and part of growing up is kind of breaking that, rewiring ourselves from the wiring growing up that we've all had going back to since the beginning of times. And it's that whole, well, we're men is expected. So it's cool
yeah.
that we cheat. No, it's like, no. So why is it like she's for the streets and it's like Rome has fallen if she cheats, but you cheat and it's cool because that's just the way it is. Like, no, there's not a Tupac song. That's just not the way it is. So I've never agreed with that. I've never agreed with that in the sense of like, when women do it, because I don't want to think, but I seen it growing up with my parents. You know what I mean? And I seen certain things where it was like the disparities and the unfairness with certain things, and that's not for me to really get into and talk about. But I've experienced it from a young age, so I've always had women's back when it came to cheating. Like, listen, cheating is bad. Period. It's like
Yeah.
but at the same time, I just don't like this world of it's okay for a man to cheat, but when a woman does it, it's like the end of the world. So
Yeah. I think women are held to a different um caliber. It's not fair. And I think also men are I think people as much as people want to say that not all men are the same, I think society as a whole is okay with labeling men as dogs
mm,
and like putting them in this, well, men are natural hunters and men are always going to
mm,
be cheating and they're always going to turn
mm,
and look the other way. My dad, it doesn't do that. My brother, my uncle's not like that. My brother's not like that. And in a culture standpoint, being Dominican, the first thing that you're told as a little girl is don't date Dominican men because they're dogs, they cheat, they have this
mm.
reputation. But not every Dominican man is the same. So
Yeah,
when
not
you
every
hear that constantly,
yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I feel going back to the poll thing of forgiving men. I know men only got 29% of that vote, but even speaking for myself, I'm forgiving. I know I've been in relationships where there's been cheating, there's been things have happened and I forgave it. Now I'm not gonna sit here on this show either and lie. Was it hard? Once you break my trust, it's very hard for me to you to gain it back. But I'm someone who, I like to work through challenges, and I'm also someone who actions speak louder than words. If those actions and I'm starting to see a change and stuff, like yeah, trust. I do believe trust could be regained in a sense, but it's continued work and it's continued action showing that there's changed behavior.
I
So
think
a
for me it would be
communication.
the reason why, like if I were to be in a relationship and I find out that he cheated or something, even if they're apologetic, I will accept your apology, but I can't see myself being trying to work things out because I feel like I would be doing a disservice to myself and I would be doing a disservice to you because I'm constantly going to have that in the back of my head, and that's
Mm.
something that I need to like focus. I need to work on that internally and like
Before,
before you want to continue with someone, because how fair is it to constantly bring that up or even mention it or even think that the person is cheating again? You're not giving them a clean slate basically. So that's why I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, no, I agree. But and that's a good thing because that's just basically entering, not entering something toxic, but something that could be very potentially toxic. And it's basically self awareness. You're having self awareness in that sense. But what a great show we had today. Listen, we had to take a break from the guests this week because we had so much jam packed events and so much going on. But next week, we are back and we have a special guest joining us, LeVar Ramsey Camp. He runs Snub Magazine. He is an influencer and he has his own podcast as well. And he's joining us next week. Chop it up, talk his artistry, and just join the circle and get in the hot seat with us. So tune in next week live at 8 p.m. Same place, same time. Thank you guys. Make sure to follow, like Spotify, Apple, iHeart, all those good places. We will see you guys next week. Adios.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, everything the Inner Circle podcast, and catch us every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook.